Hello and happy Tuesday. My name is Wendy Lee and I am independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US and super excited you joined me today.
Hello and
Oops.
happy Tuesday.
That's
My name is Wendy
crazy.
Lee, and I am independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US.
Oh, all right, fix that. That was crazy. So I had it pull up on Facebook and of course I got feedback. So there we go. That's what happened there. So I'm a couple minutes early today. That doesn't usually happen, but I don't know. I'm here early today and I've got what my granddaughter calls crazy hair or what I call vacation hair. So hopefully it's not too distracting that I've got this crazy hair going on today. So I'm super glad that you guys are joining me and hopefully that this will start to pop up in people's feeds. I've been getting some feedback that it's taking a little bit longer to show up. So I don't want you guys to miss anything. So what will we be doing today? I have a fun project for you. So I have a cool spinner card. So this is neat. So you just dial the little circle. It's hard to do backwards. I'll do it like this maybe. So you just dial the little circle and the little guys change in the window. Fun. Hopefully you'll be able to see this better when I get it down in front. So this card was actually inspired by one that I saw created by Wendy Cranford. And I loved it so much. I was like, oh, I got to make a version of that. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to teach that one to you. So are you ready to get started? Hopefully some of you guys have joined me by now. I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera over and let's start playing, right? Ta-da. Yay, there we are. Okay, so we are featuring today the Turtle Friends bundle. Oh, hey, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, the hair. It's a little crazy, I know. Hey, Kay, glad you're there. Glad you're watching today. Good to see you guys. Hopefully we'll have a few more pop in, maybe. But yes, we are featuring the Turtle Friends bundle. And I'll tell you up front, this bundle is currently not orderable. And you're like, Wendy, why in the world would you be showing it then? Well, I know. It's all because of this guy here. So you cannot get the punch currently. It's supposed to be available again the week of September 13th. You can get the stamp set on its own. So you could decide, maybe you don't need the punch, or maybe you do need the punch. You don't have to decide that as we go along. But the reason I'm showing it to you is because this Friday is the last day to register for my Turtle Friends stamp class, card class, and it's stinking cute. You want to see a sneak peek of it? Oh, let me grab them. Let me grab them. I'll give you a sneak peek. So let me slide those over to the side. So we are doing 5 cards. So there's one there, and then this one's got a fun cutaway in the front, and another one here, and another fun cutaway in the front, and then that one there. So aren't those stinking cute? You don't want to miss that card class. And as you saw, maybe you noticed, you don't actually have to have the punch necessarily, but I know you're going to want it in the long run. So anyway, so today I'm just showing you another super cute project. So let me bring this in again and see if we can get this a little bit closer so you can see all the detail. Look at that cool stitched leafing in the background. Isn't that neat? And we've got some Stella on the shell, got some little Fresh Freesia fingernails going on. And then under here in the spin part, we've got a little bit of Stella on the hearts. And then as we turn our little dial, a little bit of Stella on that little turtle shell. And then one more, a little bit of Stella on that little hat. Super cute, right? I love it. Love it, love it, love it. And then on the inside, we brought our little friends on the inside as well. So I'm going to show you guys how to create this. So this is all done with the Give It a Whirl dies, and I love them. So I had posted a card the other day. I don't know if I have the sample. I didn't grab it handy anyway. Well, let me see. Oh, yeah, I do. So we did a class, or I did a card using these dies in my Forget Me Not card club. So this is the card we made with the little sheep, and look how cute that is. So little sheep are jumping up from behind the fence. Isn't that stinking cute? So I wanted to actually use the dies a little bit more as they are intended, because I kind of changed things up because the sheep are a little large for the little window there. Hey, Donna, so glad you're here today. So I wanted to go ahead and show using this die again, because I think there's some super cool things we can do with it. I've got a couple other ideas up my sleeve here, but you know, we did this in our card club this last month. And so I thought, well, I'll just show you the dies and how they're supposed to be used, or I think they're supposed to be used. How about that? They didn't come with, you know, they don't come with instructions. We got to figure this out and then share it with all of you, right? So I just think it's super cute and they're not difficult at all. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. So I'm going to slide this over and I've got a thick whisper white. Oh my gosh, I did it again. Basic white card base. Who's still calling it whisper white? It's basic white. It was whisper white for so many years. How do you forget that, right? All right, so here's my white card base. That's what I should start doing. It's just calling it white. So it is thick white. It definitely is. And then let me pull in these Give It a Whirl dies. So it's a big die set, right? And so this is the piece here that cuts that actual card base mechanism, right? And the cool thing about this is that it cuts the hole that you need in the center to do the wheel part. So I've already actually die cut that. So I'm gonna bring this in and show you. So this cut that outline and that center hole. Now this window right here, which I think is super cool, is that you get to choose which window you want to use. So this comes with all these different shapes that you can use as a window. So I used this one here, and it's got this little circle that you just line right up with the hole, and you place it, you know, maybe you want the window there, maybe you want it more down here. It's entirely up to you on how you want to do it. You could have multiple windows cut so that as you turn the dial, they just change the spot that they're in, maybe, I don't know. It's really the sky's the limit with it. So you've got all these different shapes that you can cut a window with. Okay, now, after I die cut this, I brought in, and we'll bring these dies back in a moment. We'll talk about those a little bit more. I'm gonna set them over to the side. But after I did this die cutting layer, and by the way, look at all that great stitch detail all the way around. I love the stitch detail, right? All right, so then I grabbed this stitched greenery die. If you've not seen this yet, oh, I love it. I love it. It adds in this stitched, it's like little perforations. And so it adds so much texture to the layer, and it's not raised, it's a flat. So it's like putting like stitched holes in it, right? So let me bring that in and let's run that through the machine. And so look at that now. So now we've got that all die cut out. So it's got that neat stitching on the background. I love it. I think it's super cool. All right, so the next piece we need, so this is going to go on our card front, but not just yet. The next piece we need, I'm going to bring those dies back in, is our wheel, our turning wheel. So in here, you've got this large piece here, and it cuts out this. So I've got a scallop circle with a hole in the center. And then I don't know if you can see very well on the video. My light's being a little bit weird today. Let's see if I can move that over just a smidge and see if that helps. I've got some pretty good shadows today. But it leaves a little bit of an indentation of this right here in the middle, which is great because it helps you see where you need to stamp as you turn the wheel, right? Hey, Gwen, so glad you're here. Jean, so glad you're here. Appreciate you guys popping in, joining me for a little fun here. All right, so that wheel is going to go on the back of this. We have to stamp it first though. Let's do that next. Let's go ahead and stamp that and get that part put together. I'm going to bring in, if I have one, I do have one, yay. I'm going to bring in a foam pad. Since this is a photopolymer stamp set, I find that my images turn out a little bit better if I bring in the foam pad. So let's see if we can get this one all worked out. So the first thing I want to do is I'm bringing in my Fresh Freesia, and I found that I did better with placement if I stamped the heart before I stamped the little birdie. So of course, you know, stamping this on camera is completely different than just stamping it on my own. So we'll just bear with me. I know you guys will, as I figure out my way through this. All right. So next, I want to add the little birdie, and I'm going to do that in Coastal Cabana. In my cabana. Just ink up that little bird. I love this color combination. Oh, I don't think I got it inked up very good. I re-inked this pad this morning, which I don't normally like to do the same day that I'm actually going to use it, but it desperately needed it. And I'm gonna have to clean this bird in between because I'm gonna use multiple colors for this guy. All right, so our first quadrant is stamped. Yay! Right? We made it through the first one. Now we're ready to do the next one. And it really doesn't matter what order you go in, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it to my next section so I can kind of see my little indentation, so I kind of know what I'm dealing with here. And I think on this one, I'm going to start off with the bird again, but I'm going to put it in Fresh Freesia. You guys know a little purple, pinky purple birds, right? Why not? All right, so let's see. We're going to put him up just a bit because I'm going to stamp something under him. Clean that off. Hey, Susan, so glad you're here as well. It's early for you and Jean, right? It's morning, early morning for you guys. All right, bringing in Granny Apple Green. So this one, I got a lot of little things going on here. You don't have to go as crazy as I did with this. You guys know I like things to go a little bit over the top. All right, little shell, little baby turtle shell. How cute is that? All right, and then let's turn this one more time. And in this third section here, let's bring in our party hat. And I'm going to stamp that in Memento Black. Dun, dun. Let's see. And I think it takes a little bit of practice to figure out how you want your things placed, right? I haven't quite figured that out yet. So we'll see how different this one turns out from my original. It may be completely different. It may be pretty much the same. It's hard to say. All right, and then we're going to bring in Bermuda Bay and stamp this bird in Bermuda Bay. Nice. So cute. I got him a little bit low, but I think it's okay. Maybe it'll look like he's running and his hat is flying off. That's what I'm going for. All right, let's do a little coloring. I'm going to bring in my Fresh Freesia blends. And my original, I used the dark, but I'm going to use the light this time. See if I can color in just part of that hat with the light. Cute. And then I'm going to bring in some Wink of Stella. Love Wink of Stella. Who doesn't love Wink of Stella? Is there anybody that doesn't like it? If you don't, I'm sorry. It's so sad if you don't. It's beautiful. So it's just a little like clear, glittery. Yeah. Can you see it? I don't know. I hope you can see it. It's fabulous. So I added some to the party hat where the white was, and then now I'm going to color in this little shell. Now, because there's moisture in this Wink of Stella, it's going to smear my ink a little bit, my stamped ink. But I think that's perfect because it's going to give me a little bit of a green fill into this baby shell I've got going on here. Sweet, right? How cute is that? Now, if you're worried that you got a little green ink on here, just wipe that off on your scrap paper before you switch colors. And then I'm going to add a little bit of Stella to these hearts, just a smidge. Each turn of the wheel brings us just a nice, fun little glimmer. All right, so that's fabulous right there. We are ready to add this to the back of our die cut layer here. And we're going to attach that with these brads. So we have the round and square brads. Now, if you've got brads at home already, you don't have to buy these. You can, because they are very cool. Let me pull some out and see if we can show them a little bit. So you've got a large square head in white and black. And then you've got a small, there's one, a circle, small circle in white and black as well. So they're kind of fun. Now, you're not going to see what I've got on here, so it really doesn't matter which one you use. Let's see, I'll use the square one. Let's just see what happens. That way you can see it. Great. Yeah, you love the Stella? Yeah, I love it. All right, so I'm just going to slide the end of the brad through the little legs and put that wheel on there. I'm going to flip that over and spread those apart so that that's attached. Now, if you want to rotate this so that the head is in a particular direction, that's entirely up to you. And then just give it a little push and it should stay. And then now you can spin. Well, it moves a little bit. Not too bad though. And so you can spin this now. Fun? I don't think my placement's too bad. I like that a little bit better than what I had on my original one. They don't seem as floating. as they turn. Maybe that one's a little bit floating, but they're cute either way. I love it. So you got your reel will stick out perfectly there, right through this little finger hole. Cool. All right. So before I add this on, I want to do one more thing. I want to create a little hill. So I've got a piece of Sahara Sand, and I will, like I said before, I will go back after the video and add in the complete supply list. So you guys can purchase everything you need and the cut dimensions, so you know what I started with. So I've got a piece of Sahara Sand, and I ran it through already with the frame because I want to make sure it lines up to the bottom of this. So I ran it through and die cut it once. Then I'm going to bring in these border dies. Oh, I love these too. Another die set I swore I was not going to get, and I love them. Love them, love them, love them. And we're using them in the turtle class as well. So I'm going to lay this on here and I'm going to cut out a little hill. So let's go do that. Okay, and so now I've got my little hill. And I'm just going to adhere this right down on there. So I'm just going to get a little stamp and seal. Oh yeah, you're making Christmas cards, and we used to have gold. Yes, you're right. We used to have a gold Wendy, Stella. You miss it for your Christmas cards. I know. Cute little hill there for our turtle to stand on. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to my card front. Now I found I liked it popped up best, which you guys know I always like things popped up, but for functional reasons on this one. You want to have a little lift to this so that this wheel turns easily and that you can get your finger down in there, right? Because this needs to be raised a little bit, otherwise it's difficult to do. And you don't have to treat this like a shaker. You don't have to cover in all sides and all that fun stuff. But I found that I really liked using this foam tape to do this because I don't know, I could do a long section if need be, because I really felt like I needed that to really lift by this thumb hole here, finger hole, whatever you want to call that, the notch. You just need to make sure that you don't place any of your adhesive in the way of the turning of this wheel. That's super important. Otherwise, it's not going to turn, right? If you put your adhesive on top of it or too close to it, that one might be a little bit long. Let's see. No, I'm good. Okay, just check in because I don't want to mess it up. I'd hate to get it all put together and then it doesn't move. Now I could put a little bit here, and actually I think I will. I think I'll just pick up one more piece and put a little bit right here, just to keep that wheel nice and lifted all the way around. That way I don't have any problems with it. All right, so let's peel this off. See if we can get this to stick. So are you guys noticing you don't hear my dog today growling at me? So I don't know if everyone knows, but she passed away Thursday evening. So our poor Nikita is no longer with us. So it's really super quiet, and you don't realize how much you talk to your pets until they are no longer in your home. So it's been sad. It's been really sad, but we're just doing what we can to get through each day and taking a break for a little bit from having our furry friends with us. So, all right, perfect. So we've got our card with our wheel. It's already fabulous, but let's make it a little bit more fabulous. All right, next, let's go ahead and add a cloud. So I think this is cool, this die set. I mean, it's got so many pieces in it, so many things you can do with it. But there are 3 different clouds that you can do. So there's a larger one and then these 2 smaller ones. I'm going to use this one right here. And I'm just going to take a scrap of my Coastal Cabana and go run that through the die cutting machine. Get one of those cut out. Okay, so I've got my cute little cloud here, and I'm going to pop this up, but I want to make sure that when I put my dimensionals, because I want it covering that window just a smidge, but I want to make sure my dimensionals don't end up on that side because I don't want that to stick and close up my my spin. Yeah, it is sad. We did our boo-hooing all last week, and I still have my moments, but we'll definitely miss her. But it was time. She'd been off and on sick for quite some time, and those that know me pretty well, we had a second husky that passed away about a year and a half ago, and I'm a little surprised she lasted as long as she did because they were so attached to each other. So anyway, she had a lot of anxiety and stuff that happened after the other one passed. So, all right, so that moves. So we're good there. That's not keeping us from spinning with our cute little cloud there. All right, let's go ahead and add our happy birthday. So I've just got a little 1/2 inch strip. It's about 2 3/4 inches long. And we're gonna bring in our Granny Apple Green. A little sentiment there. Love it. Now, did you guys notice the cards that were in my background behind my head when we first started? You might have missed them. Those are, it was actually 6 cards hanging behind me. 3 of them we will be making at my upcoming online bingo class in September. So I think it's September 25th. So registration's going on now. But those that attend the class will get the tutorial for all 6, even though we're going to just make 3 in the event. So we play 6 games of bingo, give away some prizes, and then we do our card class. So lots of fun. All right, I'm going to pop this up right here. So I want to make sure that my placement falls just along this bottom edge here. So I'm going to actually put my dimensionals on here because, again, I want to make sure that it doesn't interfere with that, you know, what I want to turn in that window. So I'm going to stick them right there. And I'm covering up this spread. You don't have to do that, but that's entirely up to you. I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to put one right there as well. All right, and then we'll just hopefully lay our sentiment right down on top of those, and it will look fabulous. I got to lift it. There we go. I can't tell if it's straight or not. Yeah, maybe that's why she was crying while we're talking. Maybe, you never know. She was definitely a vocal husky. So silly. But yeah, my imagination, I think, messes with me some days. I could swear that I hear her still talking to me every once in a while. All right. One more thing I want to do for the spinner mechanism is a little arrow here to show you which way to turn the wheel. So you have lots of different choices. So you have these little perforated choices that you could do. So you could run it through and it's going to give you a perforated line. Or what I used are these little arrows here. So it has a small arrow and a big arrow. I use the big one. And I find that you want to put adhesive sheet on the cardstock and then die cut it. That way this is a peel and stick because it's super skinny. It would be very difficult, I think, to just try to adhere this down after it's cut. So I've got it so that all I have to do is peel the backing paper off. And this is an adhesive. Thank goodness, I already got adhesive on it. And I can just place this. So on this one, my arrow is going down because I want to go down when I push this to get it. Granted, it really doesn't matter. You can go either way. This one shows you that you, basically there's movement. On that other one I did for my Forget-Me-Not group, it definitely had a direction. Otherwise our sheep were going backwards, right? So let me pull that back in. So I definitely had the arrow going up because you wanted the sheep jumping up. They look kind of funny if you have them going backwards, right? Not that sheep are jumping like that, but it's cute either way. All right, so we've got our arrow. Now let's build our cute little turtle. So we slide this over, bring in a scrap of paper. It's a pretty large scrap that I've got here. You don't need something quite that big, but it's what I had without having to cut something. So that's what I grabbed. Let's pull in our foam mat again. So yeah, so it's been crazy busy around here lately, right? So anyway, all right, so we're gonna stamp this in Memento Black, our large turtle, right? And then I'm going to, I think I'm gonna go ahead and color him in. So I'm bringing in my Stamp and Blend. I think I'll color his toenails first. I'm going to use the dark Fresh Freesia and give some little purpley toenails. So this has got to be a girl, right? Well, maybe it doesn't have to be. Boys, I guess, can color their toenails purple if they want to. All right, so I don't need my dark Granny Apple Green. I find I'm happier with this if I just use the light. So I'm going to color him in I keep calling him a him. Her. Maybe it is just a boy with some Fresh Freesia nail polish on. I don't know. So quickly color this in. Now you could use the other tip if you like. I just like the bowl tip better. I have a little more control over it. I get a little better shading. So if I lay that color in first, and then I can come back in, and if I go over it again, it's going to give me a little bit, just subtle, as it dries. It's just going to give me a subtle dark. I got outside the lines a little bit. I'm kind of coloring messy. All right, let's do our other leg here. And you could definitely punch it or cut it out and then do your coloring. I kind of like to color it before I cut it out. Let's add a little tail here. All right. Perfect. Now I could color the shell, but I don't really need to because I'm going to layer on top of that. Now, what did I do with that punch? There it is. I put it in a safe place to be found later, right? All right, so we're just going to slide this right into the punch. Our punch is lock closed. Just slide that, it opens up, and this is the end that you go into. This is the end you squeeze. They're great because you can lay them on the table and put your whole body into it if you have any trouble. Like some days my arthritis doesn't let me squeeze things very much. So it works out fabulously for that. So once I get it where I want it, I'll give it a light squeeze so I can get both hands on the punch and then cut that off. Right? Nice. Super fun. So happy. I like it. All right. Now I've got a scrap of green apple green, and I'm going to bring in a scrap of paper as well because I'm going to end up stamping off this paper a little bit, I think. And I'm going to do the shell. So I'm finding personally, I do better if I stamp the shell part first, the fill, and then go back and add the outline if I want it. So I'm using granny apple green on granny apple green. Stamp that down. Super cute. And let's get that out of the way. And then we'll bring back in our memento. That outline image again. Keep that up. And then I can usually, granted, maybe not on camera, but I can usually line this up a little bit better if I do the shell and then that one. It's not bad. It's hard to see on camera, so I'll have to give myself a little bit of a break there. All right. I am going to go ahead and use the punch. You don't have to do this way, but I'm going to go ahead and use the punch because I think it's fast and cut out the majority of it. But then I'm going to go back with my scissors and fussy cut the rest of it out. So I really only want the shell. So I can just cut away this on the bottom. Now I could have totally fussy cut the whole thing and not use the punch at all. All right, just decapitated him. And we're going to go ahead and add this right onto the turtle with some dimensionals. So guys, I have some exciting, well, it's exciting to me. I'm excited because I realized that I am $1,500 away from hitting my career sales of $300,000. So I'm excited about that. It's kind of a big milestone for me. So kind of doing a little bit of a countdown for myself, right? Turtle soup ingredients. Yes. All right. I'm going to add a little wink of Stella to the shell as well, just to give him a little glitz. Tie that into the little images in the spinner. And you'll notice anytime you color this, and we saw this on the one on white, is that it does smear out that stamped ink just a smidge, which I think is fine. Doesn't hurt anything. But how cute. Ooh, and look how shimmery he is. Fun, fun, fun. All right. So now I'm ready to put my little turtle right here on the front. And I'm going to use some liquid glue. I know, liquid glue and I don't always get along, but we're going to use a little bit of liquid glue. And I'm only going to put it on this bottom portion. I didn't really want him totally flat, or her totally flat. But I didn't really want it popped up either. So what I found was, because of the layers I've got going on here, if I just adhered the bottom portion, you know, it looks like he's standing up just a bit without being popped up, which I really like. So cute, right? Super cute. Now you could add some bling if you wanted to. I wanted to keep this one simpler, so I did not go down that path. Fun. Okay, we got to bring our design. Whoops. Looks like I messed up my arrow here. Let's try this again. Let's get my take your pick. And we'll move the arrow out a little bit so I don't mess it up so bad. Give that a good push. All right. Now let's do the card inside. We don't want a naked inside. Does the ink need to be dry to add the wink of Stella? You know, I don't think so. It really depends on your opinion. Our inks dry pretty darn quickly. So pretty much once you stamp them, you should be able to handle it without too big of a mess. There are some exceptions that I will tell you. I found that red on white cardstock smears. It needs time to dry. So I will let that one sit a little bit longer, but overall it works pretty well. But because Wink of Stella has moisture in it, anytime you're adding moisture to a water-based ink, it's going to bleed just a bit, okay? So lighter hand, you'll have less bleeding than if you have a heavier hand on that. Hope that makes sense, Susan. All right, let's bring back in our foam pad. And we've got a piece of basic white. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp these cute little birdies. Let me show you what we're doing. We're doing this on the inside here. So let me stamp these cute little birdies. I'm going to start with Fresh Freesia. So, oh, did you guys see the ends of my blends? So they have these cool labels on them. So my friend Nancy did this for me. So I've got a file that you can print off these, and they have the dark and light, and you can just glue them onto the lids of your blends. It's actually nice when they're up in the, storage shelf that you can see that very, very easily. So if anyone has any desire to place an order and help me hit my sales goal this week, I will send you that file for free if you'd like it. Of course, my team gets it for free. Always. My team gets everything for free. All my tutorials, my classes. All right. Let's get a Bermuda Bay. Well, now we'll see if I can line these up, knowing that I can't really see when it's on camera. So they might be walking a little bit in a crooked line, but that's okay. I am using Memento ink, Susan, when I'm stamping. So when you use blends, you want to use Memento versus StazOn, because Memento is designed to work with Stampin' Blends. Granted, you can use it outside of Stampin' Blends, but it is designed to work with Stampin' Blends. All right, so this is Coastal Cabana, so a little bit lighter. Cute. I love this color combination. Pastel-y, but yet not. And then let's find our little grass. There's our little grass. Oh, I forgot to put grass on the front. We'll go back and see if I can do that. It might be too difficult now, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. We'll see what happens. And then I'm just going to put in a little bit of grass. It's in Sahara Sand. Well, I got this open. Let's add some to the front here. Because it's such a light image, maybe I can get away with adding a little bit of grass. Yeah. I just have to be careful that I don't cover where I got my little turtle. I forgot about it. Get your ducks in a row. Ah, ha, ha, ha. You're funny. Jennifer, you crack me up. All right. Coming back to this, focus. All right. And I added a sentiment on the inside that says friends forever, or forever friends, technically. I'm saying it backwards. And how cute is that? Cute. Cute, cute, cute. I made a big mess. There was a lot of stamping on this one. I don't normally do that quite that much, and color changes and all that crazy stuff, but it needed to be done today. All right. Where's my silicone craft sheet? Pull that in, get my runner running. There we go. Is that just not amazing how that works so well? So easy. All right, Fresh Freesia. We will put this down. And then we're going to add this to the inside of our card base. Dun, dun. Cute. So I got my cute little inside with my little friends, or as Jennifer said, my ducks in a row. And then my party friends on the front. Turn my wheel. Cute, 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 cute. How fun is this? And not difficult. There's a lot of pieces, but it's not difficult. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I hope you guys like that one. Yeah. So here's the two. So you can see my grass was supposed to be a little differently placed, but I think it's okay. I still think it's pretty. Lots of fun. Let's see. I did want to share with you, if anyone would like to help me achieve my $300,000 in career sales. It's only taken me, I'm almost to 18 years as a demonstrator. So I've not been speedy about achieving this goal, but I'm excited about it and hope to achieve it this year. But if you want to help me this week, I have a little special for you. So if you shop, I'll leave this out here for just a moment. If you shop with me using my special host code, QNWRKWYG, this week, between now and Friday, I will email you the file so that you can punch out and add these little labels to your blends. Fun? Yeah? Now, if you place an order that's $150 or greater, don't use the host code. I'll automatically email you the file. I want you to get your host rewards if you're placing a higher dollar amount. But anyway, all right. So here's today's project again. Cute. And then do you want to see one more flashback of the turtle cards? I'll show you one more time. These are the Turtle Friends class that registration goes on through Friday. Quick sneak of those again. Cute. Super cute. What is the die set? Okay, so I used actually a couple different dies. So let me tell you about that, Susan. I used for the whole spinner mechanism, right? To create this, let's go back through this. So these are the Give It a Whirl dies, and I will put the full supply list in the video description. So afterwards, Facebook, the way I go in through Zoom, it doesn't allow me to populate everything up front. I have to go back in and edit. So it'll take me maybe 15, 20 minutes to get everything updated, but I'll have the complete supply list. So you'll have everything I've used and all the cut dimensions. So you'll see that as well. But this is the Give It a Whirl dies. And this is what was used to create that card base with the hole, the wheel with the hole, the window, the cloud, the arrow, all that came out of this die. Okay. And then I added the leaf stitched texture with the stitched greenery die, which is this one right here. And so that made that really cool leafy background. Okay. And then I used the basic borders dies to create the hill. Fun. So it is a little die heavy today. Great question. Thank you for asking. I'm happy to clarify. Any other questions for you guys? I'll definitely go back after the video, and if I see anything pop up, I'll make sure I answer your questions. And of course, you guys can always reach out to me anytime. I am happy to answer any questions at any time. Okay, great. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'm excited to see you next Tuesday. All right, happy crafting, and bye for now.